Your kindness is slowly destroying you. Every forced smile, every unwanted yes, every time you ignore your spirit's no. You're trading your destiny for temporary approval. Some of you are not tired because of your dreams. You're tired because you're carrying everyone else's load while your own purpose sits neglected. Being too friendly isn't kindness. It's self-sabotage. And many of you are slowly burying your potential under the weight of pleasing others. The greatest prison is not built with bricks and steel. It's built with the word eyes. And too many of you are serving a life sentence. Excessive friendliness drains your purpose. When you always feel the need to please everyone around you, when your mouth forms, yes, before your heart even has a chance to think, you're slowly giving away the very energy you need to build the life you dream of. It may look harmless, it may even feel noble, but saying yes to everything and everyone is like leaving the door of your soul wide open for anyone to walk through. Your time is not infinite, your energy is not unlimited, and yet you allow others to spend it as if it were. Every unnecessary yes steals a piece of your destiny, leaving you with only fragments of yourself at the end of the day. You were not created to carry everyone's burdens while neglecting your own. Helping others is powerful when it flows from a place of strength, but when you make it your duty to never disappoint anyone, you slowly disappoint yourself. Think of how many dreams have been delayed, how many opportunities have been lost, simply because you were busy saying yes to things that had nothing to do with your calling. Every time you agree to what drains you, you are quietly saying no to what could transform you. Purpose requires clarity, and clarity cannot survive in a heart that is pulled in 10 different directions at once. The world often disguises people pleasing as kindness, but there's a sharp difference between true kindness and destructive compliance. True kindness uplifts without depleting. It builds without breaking you down, but destructive compliance forces you to betray yourself just to keep the peace, even when that peace is fake. And when the moment comes that you need energy to focus on your vision, you find yourself too empty to move forward. How many times have you collapsed in silence at night, not because of your own work, but because you spent the day carrying everyone else's load? That is not strength. That is slow self-destruction. Life is short and destiny demands discipline. Every time you hand over your energy in the name of excessive friendliness, you are robbing yourself of the consistency required to grow. Some people will never be satisfied no matter how many times you say yes. They will always want more, and as long as you give in, you are training them to treat your time and your spirit as if they were disposable. But the truth is, your energy is sacred. It is the currency of your purpose. You must learn to guard it like treasure, because once it is gone, it cannot be regained. The irony is that people respect you more when you stand firm in your boundaries. A no spoken with confidence often inspires greater respect than a yes spoken out of fear. When you dare to honor your own path, you give others permission to honor theirs too. But if you constantly surrender your time, you are silently teaching the world that your purpose has no value. And if you keep giving away pieces of yourself, one day you will look in the mirror and realize there is nothing left for you. Your life is too valuable to be wasted on excessive friendliness. It is not your job to be everything for everyone. It is your job to be true to the assignment placed inside you. Your purpose is the reason you were created, and it cannot survive in an environment where you always choose people over your progress. Every time you say no to distractions, you say yes to destiny. Every time you guard your energy, you fuel the vision that will outlive you. So choose wisely, stop letting unnecessary yeses steal your future. Kindness is beautiful, but self-betrayal is not. Guard your time, honor your boundaries, and focus on the path that was designed for you. Because at the end of your life, it will not matter how many people you pleased. What will matter is whether you fulfilled the purpose for which you were born. People-pleasing creates exhaustion and resentment. At first, it may feel good to be the one who shows up for everyone, the one who never says no, the one who keeps the peace no matter what. You wear the smile, you give the time, you extend the energy, and for a moment you feel needed. But slowly, underneath that smile, something starts to change. You begin to feel drained, because you are pouring out of a cup that is never being refilled. You give and you till there is nothing left for yourself, and the very people you tried to keep happy hardly notice the cost you've paid. That's when the bitterness creeps in, not because you don't love them, but because you realize you have neglected yourself in the process. Resentment doesn't show up overnight. It builds slowly, like a shadow growing longer with each step. Every time you say yes when your heart screams no, every time you cancel your own plans just to accommodate someone else, every time you silence your own needs for the sake of harmony, a seed of resentment is planted. And eventually those seeds grow into walls inside your soul. You look at the people you've helped, the ones you've bent over backwards for, and instead of joy you feel emptiness. Instead of gratitude, you feel exhaustion. Instead of love, you feel anger you can't even admit. This is not because you are weak or unkind. It is because you are human. A human being who was not designed to be stretched endlessly thin. You cannot constantly sacrifice yourself and expect to remain whole. Your body will remind you with fatigue. Your mind will remind you with irritation. Your heart will remind you with unspoken disappointment. And your spirit will whisper that you were meant for something greater than constantly catering to the demands of others. People pleasing is a silent thief. It doesn't just take your time, it steals your energy, your confidence, and your identity. You start forgetting who you are, because you are so busy trying to be who everyone else wants you to be. And the worst part is, many of the people you're trying to please may never be satisfied. The bar keeps moving, the expectations keep growing, and the cycle never ends. The more you give, the more they take. The more you bend, the more they expect. Until one day you wake up bitter, tired, and wondering why no one ever shows up for you the way you show up for them. But the truth is, it's not their fault, it's yours. Because you trained them to expect it. You built the habit of saying yes. You built the reputation of being always available. You taught them that your needs are secondary to theirs. And now, if you want to break free, you must unlearn the very patterns you created. That means choosing discomfort in the short term, risking their disappointment, risking their misunderstanding, risking their temporary anger, in order to protect your peace in the long term. It will not be easy. Saying no will feel selfish at first, because you have been conditioned to believe that love means self-sacrifice without limits. But real love has boundaries. Real love knows when to stop. Real love can say no without guilt, because the truth is, you cannot pour into others from an empty vessel. You cannot give what you no longer have. If you continue to ignore this, the resentment will consume you, and the very relationships you tried to preserve will eventually crumble under the weight of your unspoken bitterness. So it's time to stop betraying yourself in the name of being nice. You are not put on this earth to please everyone. You are here to fulfill your purpose, and that purpose requires energy, focus, and self-respect. Learn to say no without apology. Learn to protect your time without guilt. Learn to choose your peace over their comfort, because in the end, people-pleasing doesn't create love. It creates exhaustion. It doesn't build connection. It builds resentment. And the longer you live in that cycle, the further you drift from the life you were meant to live. Lack of boundaries destroys respect. The moment you stop valuing your own time, your own energy, and your own presence, others take note. People learn how to treat you by watching how you treat yourself. If you are always available, if you never say no, if you allow others to interrupt, to drain, to take without giving, then you silently teach them that your time has no worth. And when your time has no worth, neither does your presence in their eyes. What was once seen as kindness becomes expected. What was once generosity becomes entitlement. And soon what you gave freely is no longer appreciated at all. Respect is built on boundaries. Without boundaries, love turns into misuse, friendships turn into one-sided arrangements, and work becomes exploitation. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They are the guardrails that protect your purpose, your peace, and your identity. Without them, you are like a house with open doors and no locks. Anyone can walk in, rearrange the furniture, and leave chaos behind. And yet so many people live this way. They think they are being loving by saying yes to everything, by letting everyone cross their lines, but in reality they are erasing their own value. The truth is simple. People do not respect what you do not respect. If you constantly dismiss your own needs, others will do the same. If you undervalue your time, others will waste it. If you never prioritize yourself, no one else will either. It is not cruelty to say no, it is wisdom. It is not selfish to protect your space. It is survival. Because the more you allow others to run over your boundaries, the less they see you as a person, and the more they see you as a resource, something to use whenever they please. And what happens when you keep living without boundaries? You burn out. You grow resentful. You feel invisible in relationships that should have been mutual. You find yourself doing more and receiving less, giving more and being thanked less, carrying burdens that were never yours to carry in the first place. Slowly, your spirit begins to wither, because deep down you know you are betraying yourself, and betrayal, even when it comes from your own hands, is still painful. Boundaries are not about shutting people out. They are about letting the right people in. When you set a boundary, you don't push away love. You protect it. You don't end respect, you demand it. You don't weaken connections. You strengthen them, because real relationships can only thrive when both sides honor each other's limits. If someone walks away because you finally chose to honor yourself, then they never respected you in the first place. And losing their presence is not a loss. It is a release. Many people are afraid to set boundaries because they fear rejection. But the greater rejection is what happens when you keep betraying yourself. The greater rejection is when you look in the mirror and realize you have become a stranger to your own needs. Boundaries are not rejection. They are redirection. They guide you toward healthier relationships, toward better use of your time, toward a deeper respect for your own life. Your destiny depends on your ability to guard your energy. Every dream requires focus. Every calling requires discipline. Every vision requires time. If you spend your life giving it away freely to anyone who asks, you will have nothing left for the things that matter most. Respect yourself enough to protect your purpose. Respect yourself enough to say no. Respect yourself enough to show the world that your time is sacred, your energy is valuable, and your life is not to be wasted. Because when you value yourself, others will have no choice but to do the same. You miss your true calling when you spend your entire life constantly serving everyone else. At first, it feels noble to be available to everyone, to be the one who always shows up, who always says yes, who always sacrifices. You wear it as a badge of honor, convincing yourself that this is what love looks like, that this is what loyalty requires. But deep down, you begin to feel the emptiness growing inside you, because while you are busy helping others build their dreams, your own dream sits untouched, gathering dust, waiting for you to finally remember that you were created for something more. Life is not a rehearsal. You do not get endless chances to live your purpose. Each day you spend saying yes to everyone else is a day you never get back. And when those days add up, they become years. And those years become regret. The hard truth is that you cannot fully step into your calling if you are always consumed with serving the needs, demands, and expectations of everyone else. Your calling is unique. Your mission is personal. And if you keep ignoring it, the world will never receive the gift that only you were born to give. Neglecting your mission does not always happen loudly. It happens in small, subtle ways. It happens every time you silence your inner voice to keep the peace. It happens every time you put off your goals just to meet someone else's deadline. It happens every time you trade your vision for validation. Every time you let fear of disappointing others outweigh your responsibility to yourself. And before you know it, you've become a background character in your own life story, watching others shine while your light grows dimmer with each compromise. But you were never created to live as a shadow. You were designed to be the light. You were given gifts, passions, talents, and a calling that belonged to no one else but you. The tragedy is not that people use you. The tragedy is that you allow it to continue at the cost of your destiny. Serving others has its place, but when serving becomes slavery, when giving becomes self-betrayal, when pleasing others becomes more important than pleasing God or honoring your soul, then you are no longer walking your path, you are walking theirs. And the truth is, no one else can walk your path for you. No one else can fulfill your mission. No one else can complete your assignment. If you abandon it, it remains undone. If you neglect it, it remains incomplete. You can spend a lifetime helping others succeed, but at the end of it all, you will still have to answer for what you did with your own calling. And excuses like, "I was too busy helping everyone else," will not erase the ache of knowing you ignored the very reason you were alive. Your true calling will always whisper to you. It will tug at your heart in quiet moments. It will appear in your dreams, in your passions, in the things that ignite your soul. But if you keep drowning it out with constant service to others, you will never hear it clearly. Purpose requires space. Destiny requires discipline. Your mission requires you to guard your time and energy with intention, not wasted on things that do not move you forward. So choose wisely. Stop betraying your future just to keep everyone around you comfortable. Stop delaying your purpose in the name of being nice. You were not born to live as everyone's servant. You were born to serve your mission, to walk your path, to honor the assignment God placed within you. Others may benefit from your journey, but they should never own it. Because when you step into your calling, you don't just change your life, you change the world. And the world is waiting for you to finally stop neglecting yourself and embrace the destiny that belongs only to you. Boundaries are bridges, not walls. Many people misunderstand this truth and believe that saying no is cruel, harsh, or unkind. They imagine that protecting their time and energy means shutting people out completely. But the reality is the opposite. Boundaries are not barriers that isolate you. They are structures that guide relationships in healthy directions. Just like a bridge connects two sides in balance, boundaries connect you to others in ways that honor both their needs and your own. Without them, relationships lose respect and become unbalanced. With them, relationships gain clarity, strength, and mutual trust. Saying no does not make you selfish. It makes you wise. It shows that you understand the value of your time, your peace, and your purpose. Too often, people spend their lives saying yes to everyone around them while silently screaming no inside their own hearts. They confuse endless availability with love, but true love requires balance. You cannot love others well if you are constantly betraying yourself. You cannot serve with joy if you are serving from an empty cup. Protecting your boundaries ensures that when you do say yes, it comes from a place of authenticity rather than resentment. The danger of having no boundaries is that people will unconsciously take advantage of you. It's not always malicious, it's human nature. If you do not protect your time, others will fill it with their priorities. If you do not protect your energy, others will drain it without realizing what they are doing. And if you do not protect your peace, the noise of everyone else's demands will drown out your inner voice. Slowly you will find yourself exhausted, bitter, and invisible in relationships that should have brought joy. But when you establish boundaries, everything shifts. You teach people how to treat you. You communicate without even speaking that your time is valuable and your life has direction. Boundaries do not push people away. They attract the right people who respect your strength. They filter out those who only wanted to use you and reveal those who truly value you. By saying no when you need to, you are not closing the door. You are opening a clearer, stronger path for genuine connection. Think of it this way: a bridge without railings is dangerous. People can fall off easily, accidents can happen, and the connection becomes unsafe. But when you add guardrails, the bridge becomes secure, trustworthy, and reliable. In the same way, boundaries make relationships stronger, not weaker. They create safety, they create balance, and they create respect. People may not always like your boundaries, but they will always respect them. And even if they don't, you will respect yourself for having them. The world often glorifies endless giving, but what it doesn't show is the silent burnout of those who give without limits. You are not here to be a doormat. You are here to live with purpose, to protect the calling on your life, and to share your gifts in ways that matter. That requires focus, and focus cannot survive without boundaries. Every no you speak is really a yes to something higher, a yes to your health, a yes to your peace, a yes to your dreams, a yes to your destiny. Boundaries are not about rejecting others, they are about honoring yourself. And when you honor yourself, you create the space to love others from a stronger place. You become more reliable, more joyful, and more present because you are no longer weighed down by resentment. You are no longer exhausted from carrying more than you were meant to carry. Boundaries free you to walk in your purpose with clarity and confidence. Saying no is not selfish. It is sacred. It is a declaration that your time, your energy, and your life matter. Boundaries are bridges that lead you toward healthier connections, greater respect, and deeper peace. And when you learn to protect your path, you not only elevate your life, you inspire others to do the same. The power of no is freedom. Many people spend their entire lives enslaved, not by chains on their wrists, but by chains on their words. They cannot say no. They are afraid to disappoint, afraid to offend, afraid to lose approval. And because of that fear, they live in a prison of obligations that do not belong to them. Every time they say yes to something meaningless, they are quietly saying no to the things that truly matter. The truth is simple: if you never learn to refuse distractions, you will never have the space to embrace your destiny. Saying no is not rejection, it is redirection. It is not cruelty, it is clarity. When you say no to wasted time, to toxic relationships, to meaningless tasks, to shallow opportunities, you are not shutting the world out. You are opening yourself up to what really counts. You are creating room for your purpose, your growth, your health, your peace, and your future. Destiny does not thrive in a crowded schedule filled with obligations that drain your soul. Destiny thrives in focus. And focus can only survive when you have the courage to say no. Think about it: every great achievement in history was born out of discipline, not endless distraction. The athlete who becomes a champion had to say no to comfort. The visionary who built something world-changing had to say no to conformity. The leader who transformed lives had to say no to fear. Every yes to greatness is protected by 1,000 no's to mediocrity. You cannot reach your potential if you are always available to everything and everyone. Growth requires space. Purpose requires energy. Destiny requires focus. But too often, people confuse saying no with being selfish. They fear that by setting boundaries, they will push people away. What they don't realize is that constantly saying yes pushes themselves away. It pushes away their dreams, their health, their peace of mind. It pushes away the very life they were meant to live. Self-betrayal in the name of kindness is not kindness. It is destruction. Saying no is not about rejecting others. It is about honoring yourself. It is about acknowledging that your time is sacred and your energy is valuable. Of course, saying no is not easy. The first time you try it, you will feel guilt. You will hear the voice of fear whisper, "What if they get angry? What if they leave? What if they don't like me anymore?" But here is the truth. The people who truly respect you will honor your no. And those who cannot accept your boundaries will only attach to what you gave them, not who you really are. Your no is not a loss. It is a filter. It reveals who values you for you and who only values you for what they can take from you. Every no you speak is actually a yes to something greater. When you say no to distractions, you say yes to focus. When you say no to toxic people, you say yes to peace. When you say no to endless obligations, you say yes to rest and restoration. When you say no to fear, you say yes to faith. Every no is a doorway to freedom, because it clears the clutter and makes space for clarity. And clarity is the foundation of destiny. The power of no is not about limitation. It is about liberation. It frees you from the weight of expectations that were never yours to carry. It frees you from the noise of demands that only keep you stuck. It frees you from the illusion that your worth is tied to pleasing others. No is not negative. No is sacred. No is powerful. And no spoken with courage is one of the greatest keys to unlocking your true potential. So learn to embrace it. Stop apologizing for protecting your purpose. Stop feeling guilty for choosing peace over pressure. Stop thinking you owe everyone an endless yes. You don't. You owe yourself the truth. And the truth is this: the power of no is freedom. And that freedom is the path that leads you directly into your growth, your purpose, and your destiny. Life is not defined by how many times you said yes. It's defined by whether those yeses led you toward your true purpose. Too much friendliness drains your energy. People-pleasing leaves you bitter. Lack of boundaries destroys respect. And living for everyone else makes you miss your own calling. But when you learn the sacred power of no, everything changes. No is not rejection. It is protection. No is not selfish. It is strength. Every no you speak to distractions, to toxicity, to meaningless demands, is really a yes to your growth, your peace, and your destiny. Your time is precious, your energy is sacred, and your life is a gift. Protect it fiercely. Because when you honor yourself, the world has no choice but to honor you too.